Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about why is the Philippine stock market losing out to the world? Why are other markets crushing it, doing better? Why is the US market hitting all-time highs and the Philippines is being a laggard? If you want to know why we're missing out on this run, you have to check this video out. Hey guys, so we're back again for another informational video, something that will give you enough insight and information to get a grasp about what's happening in the markets as a whole. As you all know, this channel has one heart and one goal: to give you as much information as possible to be able to trade the markets with confidence. So the whole context of this is, if you're looking at it, you're looking at what's happening around the world. S&P 500 all-time high, Nasdaq pushing higher, Tesla $2,000 per share. But why is the Philippines not going up? Why are we not pushing higher? This video is brought about by a question from Martin Nieves. He's asking, "Hello, Sir Marvin. This is Martin Nieves from Mandaluyong. I am running our family business and I might say, you're right that in spite of the crisis, we can still make money. Our business is doing well in spite of the recession. Thank you for inspiring all of us. I am loving your videos, Sir Marvin. I have been watching you non-stop since the start of the lockdown. Because of your videos, I've been investing both in the PSE and in the US markets. Thank you for your unselfish dedication to bring financial education to all of us. My question, sir, is this: why is the Philippine market lagging against the US market and maybe against other markets in the world? Thank you, Mr. Guiding Light. You are the best." Guys, Guiding Light yan ang Guiding Light. Natatawa pa rin ako every time you would say that, no? More power, Martin Nieves, Mandaluyong. The Philippine market is still bearish. The Philippine market has not reversed yet. So, as of now, the Philippines is down 23.16%. And if you'd like to compare it, if we could have charts right here, you have Nasdaq up 25.55%, and it's been hitting all-time high upon all-time high upon all-time high. Then you have the S&P 500, who over the past few days hit an all-time high, and by the time I'm recording this video is up 4.79%. And lastly, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's the only one that has been lagging in the US markets in terms of major indices. The Dow Jones is down 2.80%. However, comparing it to the Philippines is down 23.16%. The Dow Jones is down 2.80%. So even though the Dow Jones is down, the Philippine market is relatively lower still in terms of why is it not bouncing, why is it not recovering, why is it not going anywhere. So that's what we're gonna drill in. I have around 8 reasons on why I believe the Philippine market is lagging behind whatever's happening in the world and whatever's happening through the markets, not just in the Philippines but in other markets in Southeast Asia. If you would also try to compare, other markets in Southeast Asia are doing a relatively better job than the Philippines. If you guys are excited, comment below. I'm excited. Comment below. I want to learn. Comment below. This is something that's for me. But before I begin, allow me to introduce myself if you're new to this channel. My name's Marvin Germo. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I've been investing in the market for more than a decade now. So I make daily videos about investing, trading in the markets, and I give you principles, strategies in order to help you win and trade the markets with confidence. So if you like more of this, subscribe. I have 2 channels. The other one is in the description below. Both of them have one heart: to help you win in the market. So what are you waiting for? Like, share, subscribe to both of my channels. Anyways, 8 reasons on why I believe the PSE is losing out to other markets in the world, particularly to the US markets. So, number 1, the coronavirus. Let's make a head-to-head comparison. Of course, as you all know, the US has 5.7 million cases by the time I'm making this video. The Philippines, by the time I'm making this video, has around 178,022 cases. You could easily say that, hey, the US has more cases. Mas delikado dapat doon than sa Philippines. Know this, the Philippines is the hot spot already of the coronavirus in Southeast Asia, which, as you all know, this whole issue of markets dropping, economies dropping, was pretty much because of the coronavirus. And because we still have not tapered the curve meaning the infection curve, that places a lot of uncertainty for what could possibly happen in the Philippines. And if you've been watching my other videos, the biggest concern that people are pegging is, what if we run out of more hospital beds? Then it would lead into deeper and bigger issues for the Philippines as a whole. Comment below if you're learning. Comment below if this is something that's helping you. Number 2, extended lockdowns. The Philippines has one of the most strictest lockdowns in the world. And part of the equation also is putting Metro Manila in MECQ for the past 2 weeks. While all of this was happening, the US started to reopen their economy and continue to move people from unemployment to now having jobs. Please remember, if the economy is closed and there are strict lockdown measures, there are a lot of people that won't have jobs. But suddenly, if you start to reopen the economy, those businesses that didn't have a lot of transactions would suddenly have more, hence the need for more jobs. So why am I saying this? While we were in the midst of a stricter lockdown, MECQ, last August, you're seeing the US restart. You're now seeing the NBA being restarted. They're now in the playoffs, which 5 months ago wasn't happening. And if you notice it also, parang life happened so fast. We're now 5 months into the lockdown. I barely got out. I've been out probably less than 20 times for the past 5 months. But imagine that. It means that the spending that could have gone to those businesses is also lesser, and multiply that to a larger degree. And that places also a shroud of uncertainty on the Philippine economy. That places a shroud of uncertainty on what could possibly happen in the Philippines. Again, I've been saying this over and over. Every time there's uncertainty, people don't like to invest. People get jittery. People don't like the volatility because of the uncertainty. And I think that's contributed to the extended lockdown. So that's the second reason why I think we're getting left out up against the US markets. Comment below if you're learning. Number 3, US stimulus package. So basically, if you're not too familiar with what's happening, they've been giving money to citizens who lost their jobs or people who their incomes were affected. And it's different from yung ayuda sa Pilipinas, because what they're giving them is quite a substantial amount of money also, above and beyond the lump sums and the regular amounts that they've been getting. So that being said, every time governments around the world give stimulus packages, what happens is people have money. Pag may pera yung tao, you know what happens? They spend. Pag may pera yung tao, they won't be fearful in living life as normal. Because if walang pumasok na pera, you know the biggest issue with that is, kung sa Pilipinas may trabaho ka tapos wala ka ng trabaho, magtitipid ka. And again, kung nagtipid ka, hindi ka gagastos. Pag hindi ka gumastos, the economy's wheels stop turning a bit. And that's what the US government is trying to do. They're pumping in money, giving it to individuals that need it, so that those individuals can pay rent. As individuals have the money to pay rent, their landlord has money, they're paying amortization for that property, they have the ability to be able to pay that amortization. So see what's happening? Then part of their packages also, they're giving a lot of loans to a lot of businesses so that they can maintain operations. Alam mo kung ano natutulong nun? Kung business ka, may pansweldo ka sa empleyado mo, yung empleyado mo, ganun din. They'll continue to spend. It's under the context that they want the economy under this new normal to still act and work that it's functioning. That's number 3. Don't get me wrong, sa Pilipinas meron din tayong ayuda. Meron din binibigay yung mga ibang social services natin. But I don't know if you know this, a lot of people who got stimulus checks, iba sa kanila, dinagay sa Robinhood. In-invest nila sa stock market yung pera nila. That means may sobra silang pera na hindi nila masyadong kailangan, or kailangan nila pero gusto lang nila pandagdag. That's how big and significant it was also from a general context. Number 4, one of the things that the US government did was it dropped interest rates close to zero. What does that mean? Every time you drop interest rates close to zero, it allows people to borrow cheap. The Philippines also, just to add context to everything, and I've mentioned this in different videos, we've already dropped from 4.75 to 2.25. 2.25 versus something close to zero is quite far. 2.25 by Philippine standards is very, very low. It's one of the lowest that we've ever had in a very, very long time. Now, what does that mean? If you have a very, very low interest rate, where will money go? it won't go to banks. It won't go to anything that's fixed because you're not gonna earn anything anymore. Eh. What does that do? It forces people to put it where? In the stock market. It forces people to put it where? In the real estate market because they know fixed interest rate won't do anything anymore. Eh. They have to put it somewhere in an area where they could possibly earn. And in the same way, if you're taking out a loan, because loans are cheaper right now because of the interest rates, because it's very, very close to zero, then it's something that's beneficial to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people who want to buy cars, a lot of people who want to buy houses. Or they could refinance if they have any loans or anything that they need to pay for. It doesn't become a bigger burden. In the Philippines, meron din naman since interest rates are lower, may benefit. Why? You've been seeing a lot of those large companies taking out a lot of loans. They already know it's easier to get money. Yun yung ginagawa nila. They're trying their best to get as much of those loans as possible because interest rates are low. So what does that mean? It will benefit also the stocks that you're buying. It will also benefit the companies that you're buying because, yun nga as they've been borrowing, they have larger capital that yung capital nila, mababa lang yung interest, magagamit nila, and kikita din sila doon later. Number 5, quantitative easing. And I've made a lot of videos about quantitative easing already. But basically, this is the US printing money and using it also to buy back bonds. And now, they're also buying back also junk bonds as well. But I want to say this. This is one of the biggest reasons why their market is higher. Please remember, the Philippines does not have quantitative easing. This is some sort of out-of-the-box monetary policy that the US has done in 2008. And it's what they're doing again right now to help push and stimulate their economy. So imagine this. If they're buying bonds, it means that if you're a bank and they're buying also corporate bonds, it means that, teka, if that bond defaults, the government is shouldering it. We don't have that much risk anymore. The risk becomes lesser. So what does that mean? If the banks have lesser risk, they have larger flexibility to lend out more money. Since the government is giving them cash in exchange for the bonds, they have cash that they can lend out to a lot of people. The biggest issue kasi is, kung walang pera, wala silang mapapahiram. Kung wala silang mapapahiram, teka, mas scary yun kasi it will be harder for people to take loans. If it will be harder for people to take loans, hindi masiikot yung pera. Remember what I said, what the US government wants is they want the economy, the wheels, to still turn. And that's what they've been doing. And that's what quantitative easing is doing. And they've said this, they're gonna do QE till infinity. No matter what it takes, no matter what happens, they're gonna keep on printing and 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 printing money up until they get out of this crisis. So imagine, saan pupunta yung pera? Kung mababa na yung interest rate stock market pa rin. Remember what I said, 2.25% pa rin yung interest rate sa Pilipinas. So for them, they could still lower the interest rate. I don't know how low it will be as a way for them to combat it or to help the economy. Another one is the reserve requirement ratio. They could still flood the markets with cash by lowering the reserve requirement ratio of banks. So I think they'll try to exhaust those measures first before they go into something that's more creative. Number 6, one of the reasons why the US market is massively beating the Philippine markets is primarily because of technology stocks. We don't have any technology stocks. One of the reasons why the S&P 500 pushed higher was because 5 of those stocks that contributed to 20% of the allocation of the market cap of the S&P 500 were technology stocks. One of the reasons why Nasdaq has been hitting all-time high. Say, all-time high. All-time high. One of the reasons why those stocks have been hitting all-time highs was because, same thing, Facebook, Zoom, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, stocks that are highly connected to tech have been pushing up. Stocks that have been connected to technology, 5G, the new normal, virtual reality, streaming, e-commerce, they've been crushing it. They're the ones that are pushing up. They're the ones that are zooming up. And as they start to continue to go up, it drags and carries the index with them. One of the reasons why the Dow Jones Industrial Index isn't pulled as much because there's not much tech stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average as compared to the Nasdaq and as compared also to the weight that we have in the S&P 500. If you compare the stocks that are there in US markets, versus the stocks that are in the Philippines, we don't have those tech stocks. And please remember this, bonus, comment, I want that bonus, I want that other thing. The whole reason why we are into this is because we are in a pandemic that has no cure yet. And here's the thing, a lot of the pharma companies that are trying to develop the cure or the vaccine are listed in the US. So as you've seen it, there are a lot of stocks, Moderna, etc., that have been growing up, that have been moving up, that have been zooming because people are thinking that they're very, very close to get the cure, they're very, very close to get the vaccine, and if they do, it will give them a lot of profits. And we don't have that in the Philippines. Now, number 7, one of the reasons why the Philippine market is losing out up against the US market, because you have not pressed the like button yet. Joke lang. But one of the reasons why we are losing out is this is the list of the stocks that are in the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. I'll run it through you. Aboitiz Equity Ventures, Aboitiz Power, Alliance Global, Ayala Corp, Ayala Land, BPI, Banco de Oro, Bloomberry, DMCI, FirstGen, Globe, GT Capital, ICT, JG Summit, Jollibee, LT Group, Megaworld, Meralco, Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, Metro Bank, PLDT, Pure Gold, Robinsons Land, Robinsons Retail Holdings, San Miguel Corporation, Security Bank, SM Investments Corporation, SM Prime Holdings, Emperador, which is coming in the next few days already, and Universal Robina Corporation. If you notice it and you analyze it, a lot of the companies that I've mentioned, with the exception maybe of PLDT and Globe and maybe Pure Gold, a lot of them are connected to the banking industry. A lot of them are connected to property development. A lot of them are relatively traditional businesses. What do I mean by this? They are hit because of what's happening in the pandemic. The closest proxy that we have to technology, data streaming, e-commerce in the Philippines is Globe and PLDT. That's it. Other than that, mostly are traditional businesses. So why am I saying this? If you try to analyze everything, if you are an investor and you have a choice to invest, this one, I can invest in a tech stock that's paving the way for bigger growth into the future. This one, I know it will rebound, but madami pa rin yung uncertainty eh. And that's why money is moving away from where we are right now into a lot of those tech stocks which we are seeing in companies that are outside the Philippines. So I hope you're getting this. Before I proceed to the last point, point number 8, I know a lot of you are thinking, how can I invest in US stocks? Similar to the way you're investing in the Philippines, you just need a brokerage. In the link below, I have eToro. You can click that. It allows you to buy stocks in US stocks from Facebook, Google, Amazon, Nike, Starbucks, whatever, for $50 only. And what they have also is they have a virtual account where you have virtual money where you can buy stocks. That's it. You can open an account without even having the money yet. Feel comfortable. When you're comfortable, that's when you start investing. So link is in the description below for those who want to trade US markets. Anyways, number 8, foreign selling. As you all know, in the Philippines, majority of the money that's moving in and out are foreign funds, foreign institutions. The problem is, over the past few months, if you add everything, foreigners have taken money out of the Philippines massively. How can the Philippine markets go up if foreigners are selling? How can the Philippine markets go up if the largest chunk of money in the Philippines is, instead of buying up, they're getting out? Till they come back to our markets, there's not a large chance that we could see a large run up. I'm not saying they won't go back, because they will. It's not a question whether they will go back. It's a question of when. It's a question of what will trigger them. It's a question of what parameter. It's a question of what will be the reason of why they will come back. But one thing is very, very clear right now. It's very evident that funds are moving away from the Philippines, and a lot of the companies are gobbling the tech stocks in the US. I'm not saying the tech push in the US will be forever. But what I'm saying is, as of now, a lot of them are even higher than pre-pandemic levels. A lot of them are moving bigger, faster, better, stronger than what we're seeing in the Philippines. So that's what I'm saying. So these are just some reasons of why I believe the Philippines is a laggard. Allow me to repeat them. The coronavirus cases, extended lockdowns, US stimulus package, interest rates close to zero. Number 5, quantitative easing. Number 6, tech stocks. Number 7, Philippine stock market index filled with traditional companies. Number 8, foreign selling. Among the 8, what's the one thing that stuck out to all of you? If you guys have other inputs on why you believe it's not as good and why we are lagging compared to other markets, put them in the comment section below. Comment, I'm learning, if you are actually learning. And if you guys have other questions similar to what I've been doing normally, put them in the comment section, write your question. I'll try to answer them as the best of my knowledge. And in the same way, if you have a very, very personal question similar to what Martin Nieves sent us, slide a DM in Instagram and we're going to make a video based on your question. Anyways, if you'd like to know more about this, you want to drill down, learn stuff like this, 5 books in the description below, Shopee, Technicals, Basics, Fundamentals, online courses, collab with Chinkee Tan and Sean Si about the basics of the market and investing. And aside from that, I started a new group, YouTube group, similar to Facebook, but it's in YouTube. Link is in the description as well. Everything else, my playlist that I have in YouTube, if you want to learn more about trading the markets, it's all here. So I hope you guys got a lot. I hope you guys learned a lot from this, and I hope that this is something that's giving you enough insight so that you can trade the markets with confidence. I hope that this is something that's helpful. If you guys learned a lot, I appreciate it if you can like, share, and subscribe this video and share it to more and more of your friends so that we see more and more Filipinos trade the markets with confidence. So that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.